Hi, it's Ted Corliss with the Corliss-Barfield Trial Group. Just this past week, the Supreme Court of the United States refused to hear a case associated with the NFL concussion settlement that occurred approximately 3 years ago. Now, if you understand the background of the settlement, they've been gathering medical data on football players now for decades and made that information public to certain physicians who are evaluating whether or not the National Football League had responded to the fact that players were reporting serious neurological deficits, even if they were not players that traditionally had high impact tackles in the NFL. And what I mean by that is that if you look at the injuries that can occur to a football player, they're not limited necessarily to what occurs to their head. I mean, you can give them a helmet the size of a blue ribbon hog, but if they're running down the field and they impact another player, essentially what happens is the body stops and the brain keeps going. And that sloshing around the brain inside the head causes micro lesions on the brain that ultimately cause all kinds of neurological problems. I'm not talking necessarily about just stroke. I'm talking about ALS. I'm talking about MS, multiple sclerosis. Talking about some of the most garish neurological conditions. And even worse, they're involving players that are in their 30s. Guys who have end-stage Alzheimer's at age 40 just because they played football. Well, the reason the Supreme Court got involved in the NFL concussion settlement is that after the agreement was entered into, which was for about just short of $800 million, a fund set up for the players and their families, it was disclosed that the NFL actually knew long before that this injury, this problem was going on with players after they retire. It was because of that many people, including the Players Union, had tried to get the NFL concussion settlement thrown out. By the time it got to the Supreme Court said they were not going to terminate the agreement and the agreement would be enforced as written. What that means is that players involved with the NFL have the ability now to present their case, to go to the NFL and to demand payment. And the way the NFL settlement is organized, you come in at different levels. And the biggest level would be for someone who has either died or is ALS. If in fact that's the case, those players are being paid $5 million. And then the numbers just go down from there. Whether or not you would actually believe that a player in his mid-30s who now is suffering from massive neurological deficits is only worth $1.5 million or something even less than that, I'm gonna let you decide. But the bigger thing is, these are human beings, and these are people who spent their youth pursuing their dreams to play football. And it turns out the NFL was aware that many of these players were looking at a future filled with medical problems and neurological deficits. The most important thing about the NFL settlement for me is not necessarily that it provides an opportunity for past players to seek recovery for their injuries. I think what's more important about the NFL settlement is that it provides an awareness of the players that are playing now regarding the investment they're making in their careers as football players, and also an opportunity for them to take additional steps to protect their health and safety. We're working with some NFL players, can't talk about who, but here's the thing. These are good people, they're hardworking people, and they're owed money by the NFL. If you have legal questions that you'd like us to address, we'd love to hear from you. Go to our website at www.corlissbarfield.com or give us a call. Be well.